We are in Golang Champion series, and in the last two videos, we understood grpc streaming, unary streaming, where client we use the web client, and through the web client we send data, and we wrote the grpc server that got the data and send the response back. We also saw a grpc api gateway, where we can write the code once for the grpc, and then that can be served for grpc as well as uh, json, normal json rest api. So that we saw. Today we'll see the different kind of streaming. So in the first example we saw unary streaming, where client sends the data and the server sends a response. There is another kind of streaming where client sends keep sending data, and then the server collect all these requests and then send the response. So we say that client is streaming, where client will stream the data, like keep sending 1 2 3 kind of things, keep sending the data, and server will collect, and based on that it will decide and send the response back. So that's the client streaming. In our web UI, where we send the data, we cannot or I cannot show you the client streaming over there, but in a future video I write the client code where we can stream the data through the client code, and then server will collect and send the response. There is another one where the client will send a request and server will stream the data to client. Server will keep sending data one by one, and the client will receive that. And the most useful is the bidirectional streaming, where client will also stream and server will also stream. Like, let's say client will send or client want book info for different id, and then client will send id 1 id 2. It keeps sending in a asynchronously, and the server will also receive, and it also send the response asynchronously. So in that way, in a parallel way, both are both sends data and both receive the data also. So today we'll see the code for bidirectional streaming, where I write the server side code where it receives the data and also it sends the data, like keep receiving the data and also keep sending data. So the we'll see the bidirectional streaming today, and I will write the server code, and the client code we'll see in some future videos. Today I will use grpc web client the way how I used in other videos. So let's see this. So this is our code. We already saw this code earlier. Here I'm going to add few more things. So in this case I have not used any I have not used the word stream. That means this is the unary streaming, where the client sends the request and get the response. So now I'm going to write the bidirectional code. So like, let's say it's a get book info, and I'm just writing this bidirectional, and here there's a get this info request. So here I can see I can write the stream and this same thing, and returns the stream, and I can give the same thing here also. Yeah, so and if you want to If you want to write API gateway, we can add these options here, and we can do that also. But for now, I'm stopping here. So if you see this service, the service has a stream, and both side, here also a stream and here also a stream. So this is called bidirectional, where client can stream the request, and the server can also stream the response. If I want to make a client streaming, then I can have a stream here where client can send requests, but in the return I'll remove this stream. So in that case, client can send IDs, a lot of IDs, and the server will take the IDs and send the response one time. If I want to make server streaming, just a server streaming, then I'll remove the stream here and keep a stream here. So this place request, I will get the request, one request, and then assume there is a lot of big response, then I'll make it smaller, and the server will keep sending that response one by one asynchronously. So that is the server streaming. But for now, I'm writing the code for server streaming, but this is the bidirectional. The client code I can write later. Let's generate the grpc code for this. So how to generate? Save it first and then go to the readme. In the last video, we have all seen all these installation stuff, so I'm just going to run this proto-c. Proto 16, so there is some error at line 16. Proto, there is a I think we need a semicolon here. Let's save it, run it again. No error. So code got generated. Let's write the code. Let's write the code again. So we'll go to the router. There is a get in book info function, but we need the bidirectional one. So here in this book register book server, if I this server REST API, that's good. So I need this function to search. Let's search this function bidirectional in generated code. This is the gateway. Let's see here. We can see bidirectional here. Let's search this. This is book server interface, so I need this signature. Let's copy this. Come to our router and write this function here. This is on the same server, so I'm still going to copy this. Can say stream and star pb dot, and this is a stream. So through this stream we can get all the requests here, and then later we can also stream the response. Okay, so in this code let's see, this is a stream, so client keeps sends data here. So you need a loop, to process data one by one, and also we write the code there itself to send back the response at the same time. So let's have like one infinite loop here, and then say this stream. You can use a stream and a receive function. Request error. And then if there's an error, like if error, you can say if it is end of file. So it's the end of file, and for the IO I imported there, so IO. So it's the end of file. If it is end of file, then break. So that means there is no nothing to receive. Okay, so that's a loop, for loop here, and we see that if any other error not equal to null, you can say return error. And so in this request, what's we get, let's save it first, and let's see in proto file, get book info request, and here we are just sending the name, then receive the name. By name string, and write if request not is equal to new. This is the request from the receive we got, and if it is not nil, then name is equal to request dot get name. So we got the name here, and we can print something like, just for understanding purpose, got request from client, and then name is equal to its name. Okay, now we got the name, and this is the for loop. So if the client sends a lot of data, like client streams a lot of data, then we'll see this name one by one, and that's a book name. And as we get the request parallelly one by one, and this is in the for loop, we take this, and then we can send the response. So we can do some logic here, and based on the logic we can send the response. For the simplicity, I'm just going to prepare the response and send the response here itself. So it's a pb dot get book info response, and inside this we can send let's say name, author, and publisher. So name is, we can put the same name, the book name whatever you got, then author, I can put some name, publisher, I can put some name here, again I can write the code, stream dot send, and this is our response. Put the response here. return the error. So that's all. So in a server side, we have written the code for streaming. So similar code can be also written in a client side also, but in a server side we have written the for loop, and in a for loop we are getting the request one by one, and we're processing the request, and based on that we're also sending the response. So get a request, send the response. If you want to use the go routine, you can use the go routine for the send response, so that we can quickly jump to the another request. This for loop will process one by one, and the go routine in the background can send the response. So that's all. Let's test this code. So I'm going to run this. Go run cmd my project main go. And missing return. So router 106. Okay, so at the end you can say return nil. Cannot use the ACE variable type server. Go 36. Why? Have got get book info bidirectional. Return the error. So we have implemented this. Let's see what's the issue. Get book bidirectional. Undefined string router 90. Okay, and it's running. And what is the port? It's a 9901. In a readme we'll see for this web client grpc UI. So let's go in a terminal, hit this, and when you select proto book here, we'll get our bidirectional function. So that's a service name. I can select this, and for now I can send data here, like let's say name. So name is, say, Ishwar invoke, and we got Nandeshwar and Kes Gopal. So this time it looks like it's a normal looks like the normal request and response thing, but it's not like that. But I cannot directly demonstrate now until unless I write the client. But in a future videos, when we write the client, then from the client we can stream the data, and we can see the request coming here in this place. So requests come like it will say that, okay, got the request from the client, and then send the response. But this is the actual code for bidirectional streaming. At least we completed the server side code, but client side code will write in other video. So that's all for today. Thank you.